Hey everyone. We've had our solar system installed at home for the last 5 years, and in January this year we got a FoxESS battery system. We decided recently that we wanted to purchase our first EV, and we chose a BYD Sealion 7. I run a decent home assistance setup to control our battery. I'm using a Modbus setup. I've got another video available on my profile. There'll be a link to set the inverter up through Home Assistant. But then when I've started looking at an EV charger, there doesn't seem to be a lot of help and information out there on trying to integrate the EV charger with the BYD and the Fox battery system and have it all automated and put together. So I've done a lot of research into faster home chargers and how I would integrate it with our inverter and battery, mainly trying to utilize our free grid period, but as well as that excess solar after the battery's fully charged, for a few hours in the afternoon. I've come across this DE power charger. It's a 7kW Wallbox. It's got native Tuya integration. I really like this particular charger as you only needed a 32 amp socket to be professionally installed. The charger then mounts on the wall next to it. You can then remove it on a semi-regular basis if you were going to go do some travel. For us, I think I might get a 32 amp socket installed at my parents who live a couple 100 k's away. We can get there, charge the vehicle up, come back home. I did reach out to DE Power about making this video and tutorial, and they did send me this particular charger to test. All opinions in this video are my own, and they're not influenced in any way by DE. They've not paid me for this review, but they did provide me with an affiliate link, which I'll put down below, and I would receive a very small percentage of any sales that follow this link. If you are looking to buy this charger, if you do purchase through this link, that helps support me making videos and tutorials like this for you. Alright, let's dive right in. So the box has come all nicely packaged. There's a quick start guide available. Here we've got the charger itself. It feels like really nice quality plastic. It's got the screen on the front as well as the button and RFID. I ordered the 10-meter cable version. That's the wall plug to plug the charger into. There's an RFID and a few little wall connectors as well available. So it will come not connected to the 32 amp plug. My electrician, when installing the PowerPoint, completed that. That's pretty quick and easy with a few screws. It's a Type 2 charger. This is a 10-meter cable. It's really nice, thick, rubberized cable. It's quite flexible. It feels very good quality. The charger itself, I think, looks quite nice in the full black. There is a little wall plate at the back. If you just unclip that there, you can pull that off. That's what you'll screw into your wall and then place it on and slide the charger on. So it is semi-removable. You've got to stick a little screwdriver in underneath to actually undo that clip at the back. There's a few little caution and warning stickers. And just a little bit of information on the back there with the model number. Now, I will note that the this charger, it is missing its RCM tick logo, and I'll just go through that very briefly in a second. But overall, I think the charger itself, it's quite nice quality. Everything was packaged well and it arrived quite quickly as well. So this charger that I got supplied does come with an RCM certification. However, it's not got the approval tick on the side. So when I spoke to DE about this issue, they did provide me with the RCM certificate. And they said that the product was being updated at the time, so there was a batch produced during a transition period that didn't contain the RCM logo on it. And they said all the newer production batches now carry the RCM mark. But all models were and batches were built to the same quality standards and specifications, and the model number that I've got matches the actual certificate as well. Wanted to verify that myself, which anyone can do. You can go over to the EESS portal and you can complete a public search. Now if I go to DE, the trade name is DE, and this is the model number that I have been provided. I've got the 10-meter cable one, the Wallbox 7, and that matches the model number on the side. So if I go in here and search this, I can see that it does come up. It is compliant. If you want some even further detail, you can go to the advanced search. We can again look at that equipment registration. Put the model number back in and DE. I can see the full equipment number. We can see the relevant standards it's applies to, the release date and the expiry date, and go down to the equipment details again, type the model number and DE. And I'll see the specification for that particular charger. So I'm satisfied that it complies, and as they've said to me, that new models that get sent through will be having the RCM tick logo on it. So this is a photo of our switchboard after the new 32 amp circuit has been installed, which is just here. Now I've elected to not put it as part of our backup system. We've got our 3 power circuits already part of the backup. I see no real reason to put it into the backup system. The charger would draw down the battery so quickly if we had a power outage that it's not worth doing. And the way it's been set up with my electrician, it will still take from the inverter, the excess solar. I can still choose to take from the battery overnight, but I'd only ever take it at 10-15 amps if I had a huge amount of spare electricity and I really needed to top the car up for whatever reason. But realistically, it's best to just use excess solar in the day, or if you've got a free charge window, this setup will work quite well for you. In terms of costs for installation, my neighbour's an electrician, so he was happy to come over and help out and do this work for me. In terms of parts, we bought a circuit breaker. It was $40-50. The actual 32 amp switch plug that we've got, we got a Clipsal one. It was about $130, but you can pick up some for $50-60. And then we only had a 2-meter wire run from the switchboard to the actual location, and he had a bit of spare cable available. So for me, I was quite lucky. The installation cost was quite low, and about $200 in parts. But I have heard of some people getting quotes for around $500, which was a lot cheaper than the quote I got for a dedicated Evernex charger install. That was going to cost me about $2,000. Where I live, I did only get one quote, but to just run a 32 circuit should be a lot cheaper. So you need to download the Tuya app from the store and go in, add your device. You'll see the DE EV charger pop up there, and you'll need a 2.4 gigahertz network. It won't work with 5 gigahertz. So just type all that in and hit confirm. It'll take a minute to get everything synced. So go ahead and you can add any more details. I've added it into my garage. And then we've got the charger here integrated into Tuya. So you can go ahead and connect to the car, which I've just done. It's talking to my BYD vehicle at the moment, getting ready to charge. Perfect. And I'll swipe to turn it on. And you've got the ability to change the current within the Tuya app. You can see the information such as voltage, what current you're currently putting in, and kilowatts. So I've just got 16 amp selected now. You can see the car's started to charge. You can drop it down without disconnecting the car, and you can also increase the amps up without disconnecting. Now you can alter the amps using the button on the physical charger itself, but to do that the car needs to be disconnected, and then you cannot change it whilst it's connected. So if you want to change the current while it's connected, you'll need to use the Tuya app or through the Home Assistant EVCC integrations that I'll go through in the next few steps. But I thought if you just wanted basic operation, this Tuya app works quite well. You've even got a schedule down below which you can set based on any grid periods that you might have free or cheap charging. So once you've gone and added the Tuya local integration, we can go in and add a device. It may come up here as discovered, but for me it didn't. So I'll just go set up another instance. And I'm going to select manually provide the device connection information. You may have success with the other options, but this is what I had the best success with. I'll just go next. Now this you get from the Tuya app. IP I've got from my router. The local key I've obtained. Now you've got instructions here to find your device ID and local key. So if we just go open that up here, I'm just going to go through the steps for you to get this information. You will have to go into the Tuya IoT portal. It's a little bit of a pain to do, but I'll link to another video that I saw that takes you through all the steps to do so. But once you do that for this specific charger, you won't need to go back to it again. And then you can hit submit. So after a minute or so, that will work. And I've got my device type, the DE wall charger. I'm just going to call it EV charger. And it's in my garage. I'll finish. Now I've got it integrated into Home Assistant, and it's got all the relevant information I need here. So you can charge, stop charge, change the current. So now that we've got the charger set up into Home Assistant, there's a couple of different ways we can go about setting up some automations for charging. You can set up just some basic automations that will be based on time periods. If you know you only want to charge, for example, between midnight and 6 a.m. because you've got a cheap rate, or only between 11 and 2 p.m. because you've got free imports from the grid, which is quite commonplace at the moment in Australia. And then there's another program that you can use called EVCC, which is actually going to automate all of the charging based on solar and cheap rates. But we'll just go through a couple of very basic automations. You could set up some automations. Now, set up triggers based on timing. So for example, I could say, if I have a free period, I could say at 11 a.m. So I'll add an action in. I'll go select the charger. I'll tell it to charge. And then I can wait for 3 hours, which is when my timed free period ends. And I'll go back into my charger. I can tell it to stop. Now, if I wanted to add some additional actions in there, for example, if I'm playing around with amperage, I can change the current. To the full 32 amps. So maybe I'll tell it to do that before it charges. And it stops. So I'll save that. That's free charge period. And then at 11 a.m. On every day of the week, or maybe you've only got free charge period on the weekends, press save. And this automation will now run. Once you've got the EV charger connected into Home Assistant, there's this integration called EVCC. If you haven't come across it, it's an open source a container that you can run, and it will intelligently control charging of cars, battery, solar, based on forecasts, cheap grid times, high export. It's actually quite good, and it offers a lot of features. Now, if you go in and have a look at the configured devices, for me personally, the Fox system, and I know there's a lot of Fox users in Australia at the moment, it is compatible. I do have a KH series inverter, but I've managed to get it working well with one of these. But in terms of chargers, it doesn't actually support directly this DE charger. It's not listed as a supported charger, but you can actually import Home Assistant sensors directly into EVCC. I think it's listed here. So Home Assistant, you can select and import actual sensors. So we can actually configure it all in the background. I've done all the hard work for you. I've found a few resources online, collated it all. So if you go into your file editor and go to your configurations YAML, and I'll provide all of this code available, but starting down here, there's some sensors, and we've called them EVCC enabled, and they actually take the sensor EV status and output some information that EVCC can handle. So provided you've called your EV charger the DE1 EV space charger, if you call it something else, you'll just have to adjust the naming here. But there's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 sensors that get created in your YAML. Copy it from the link, paste it in, save, restart Home Assistant, and then we can go into the EVCC setup. I will note here that specifically the power sensor, it exists within the Tuya system. It's available as a metric, but it's not directly imported into Home Assistant as the other sensors are. So to reliably get this metric updated, you will need to activate a refresh of the charger. To do so, I've just gone and created some really simple automations here for refreshing the power, so you can get that that sensor up and running. And basically, just when the EV charger changes from any state to any state, when the battery stops, when the battery starts, it's just going to press the refresh button. So that's this button here, refresh. And then in order to get EVCC running properly, you need to get that refresh button constantly updated whilst it is charging. So another simple automation: when the EV charger is charging, repeat while it's charging, and it will press the refresh button, delay 15 seconds. So provided you go through this, you should be able to get it set up quite easily. So in the EVCC integration, I've already set the charger up here. I've got my BYD, and I've also got my Fox system all set up. So I'll go through the actual configuration. So charging data points and heaters. This is here where you'll click here to add the charging point. Add a charging point. You can call it the DEEV charger. And you'll want to select a Home Assistant charger. Link this to your Home Assistant, prepare the connection, and then you'll get given this box here. So I'll just cancel that and go into the one I've already set up. So here's my Home Assistant charger. Now, this is the page you'll get. So your charging status sensor, that's the new DEEVCC status we've put in the configuration file. The enable status is the binary sensor. The switch enable, again, we've put that in the configuration file. And then the maximum current is a number. This one is actually directly from the EV charger in Tuya. The power entity is the last of those, and this is the one that requires the refreshing every 15 seconds, but that's handled by a separate automation. So you can go ahead and validate it. For me, my car is currently connected. It's not enabled and it's currently pulling no power. So once you save that, you'll have a default mode option. Off can be the default. Solar is the excess solar, and it'll just turn on and off depending on how much solar you're generating, how much spare solar there is, how much your house is using. Minimum solar, that will be charging at the minimum rate you specify. So for this charger, I would specify, I guess, 6 amps, which is the lowest amount. It would constantly charge it at 6, but then draw the excess from solar. And that way the car would just consistently be charging rather than turning on and turning off, turning on, turning off. And then fast is you need the car charged now, and it'll just send juice into the car. In terms of the solar setup, you can go the maximum amount, which is the default. So after 1 minute of sufficient surplus solar, it will start charging. And then if there's not enough surplus, it will then stop. But you can adjust those numbers. If you either want a minimum wattage for enable and disable, or you can adjust that delay as well. Charger type, now the DE one that goes 6 to 32, and a single phase. There is a little quirk where you save this now and it just updates to 22 kilowatts. From what I can tell, this doesn't change anything. And then I've got my default vehicle, which I've also integrated into Home Assistant. So I'll save that and restart. For anyone looking with a Fox system to get that integrated as well, what you'll need to do is you've got a consumer here. You just have to add that in again. It's a Home Assistant sensor, and it's my load power from the Modbus integration to my inverter. The grid meter, well, that's the negative of my sensor CT. Whether it's negative or positive may depend on how your device got set up. So I've currently got a small export, 34 kilowatts. Solar system, for me, just selecting the Fox system and putting in the network information will work it all out automatically for you. And same with, even though, as I said, I've got a KH series inverter, I've got a Wi-Fi Modbus adapter, the Elfin Modbus adapter, and I can go and change a couple of settings here. But it does pull all the information automatically, including the charge percentage, and it is controllable, so you can get it to adjust whether you're force charging, discharging, etc., all through EVCC. The last step to do is you can go and import your grid pricing. For me, I've got a shoulder fee of 44 cents. I am on Glowbird Zero Hero, and I've got 0 cents between 11 and 2 daily, and then outside of that 55 cents. Once you've added this in, validate it, and it'll draw a nice little graph. It's sort of late in the evening here, so it's not showing the next free period, but it will show another graph there. You can also add in grid export in a similar manner, and you can add in a forecast, and it'll give you an approximate forecast of what your solar generation will be based on your location. And you can put in the amount of panels you've got. Okay. Once you've got that all set up, you'll have this EVCC overview. You just can click here and you can get a little bit more of information breakdown. It's currently nighttime. My battery is 77%. Car's mostly charged. I'm not importing anything from the grid. It does recognize that it's currently a 55-cent expensive period. And if we go down here, it recognizes it's cheap energy, which I've set anything under 1 cent, but really it's anything under 0. And that triggers at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So it recognizes that it'll start charging then. And I'm on solar mode, so it's only going to take the excess solar available. And I've also told it not to take from a fast charge from the battery, single phase system. Okay. And then in the battery section, you can actually dictate how the vehicle and battery charging priority interacts with each other. So I've disabled the battery charging the vehicle. I've also disabled the battery activating charging when it's in fast mode and in a planned charge. And then in terms of solar generation, it will put solar into my battery until the home battery is above 75%, and then it will start putting excess solar directly into the car. For me in the morning, that would work quite well because I know at 11 o'clock I'm going to have free imports anyways. And you can control the battery charging as well here. I haven't set that up yet as I'm using separate automations in Home Assistant. So we're just in the EVCC here. Sun's out, solar's working well. I got 4.5 kilowatts being generated. Home's using a small amount, 1 kilowatt, and it's taking the excess and putting 3.4 kilowatts into the car currently. It's been going for an hour or so. Put 2.5 kilowatts into the car, and I've got it on solar setting now. My free period's about to kick in 1 minute at 11 o'clock. So we should see the cheap energy kick into play in a second, and the charger should boost all the way up to full speed at about 7 kilowatts. So it's just hit 11 on the clock now, so it might take a minute or so to actually to ramp up. So we'll see how that goes. So it doesn't want to ramp up automatically for some reason, because I can see in my Fox app, it's actually at 11 o'clock jumped up to 6.5 kilowatts of charging power. So it does seem to be an issue. Oh, here we go. So this is now updated. I'm unsure why it took so long to show, but it definitely went up to 6.5 kilowatts at 11 o'clock, as it should be. And again, I think it's just an issue with the sensor that I've had to automatically put in. Sorry, the sensor that's not automatically put in that I've had to configure to show the power. My grid import's not working appropriately, but we'll see if we can fix that one up. So we're just checking in on charging. We're at the back end of the free period. It's just hit 2 o'clock now, so it's triggered cheap energy to finish. The car was charging at 6.7 kilowatts. My battery got up to 100%. And we should be on excess solar mode now. So we'll just give it a minute or two, and it should drop the charging down to meet just the excess solar. There we go. The grids now come offline. We've only got the solar. The car's taking its portion, 1.6 kilowatts, because the house is currently drawing 2.4. Everything seems to be working quite well. I've got the microwave just running at the moment. It should be done in a minute. And we should then see the power go back up. We were exporting the excess. The microwave's finished, and we should then see the car now take this excess load in the next minute or so. And there we go, the power for the car has jumped up. My home consumption's dropped significantly, 0.8 kilowatts. And the car's now taking 2.7. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you got something out of this. I've quite enjoyed playing around with EVCC and Tuya integration with all this charger. I've only been using it for a short period now, but everything seems to be working quite well, and I'm happy with it. And given the price, the RCM certification, the fact it comes in a few different cable lengths, I'm happy that I've gone ahead, and we'll see how it goes through time. Thanks for watching.